Okay. Hey, how's it going, everybody at YouTube? This is Daniel Jackson from DanielJJackson.com. Just want to do a quick video here about asking questions. Whenever you do anything, you don't even realize it, but you ask yourself questions. It's a lot. Questions are really, really strong. It's a lot stronger when you ask yourself a question before you do anything. If you're going to do something big, I know recently I went to a seminar with my good friend and business partner, Louis Angel at AEmind.com. And, you know, before we went to this seminar, we asked ourselves questions of what we wanted to gain out of this seminar. We just wrote like a sheet and a half of paper of questions, like what we wanted to gain. And what happens is when you ask yourself questions, you activate a different part of your brain when that question is answered. So you could be sitting there not paying attention to anything, but as soon as they bring up something having to do with that question and answers it, all of a sudden you just like come back like, okay, what? And you remember that part because that's what you programmed in yourself to remember. Asking questions are super powerful. I mean, you can do it with anything. I mean, you do it now and don't even realize you do it. For example, how many times have you gone and you're driving, you're hungry, and what do you ask yourself in your mind? What do I want to eat? Exactly. Where should I stop to get food? What should I make today? You ask yourself questions all the time. Your brain is constantly pushing out questions, and every single time you ask that question, your brain answers it for you too. For example, I know a lot of people that go to auto shows, go to car shows, go to like the car swap meets and everything like that. They sell cars. And one of the first questions, even people are watching this right now, you probably sold a car yourself. One of the first questions you ask yourself is, should I sell my car? Why should I sell my car? And how much should I sell it for? All three of those are questions, and all three of those, when you ask them, you'll get an answer from your brain. I promise you that. Anytime you ask a question, you'll get an answer. The right thing to do, though, is to word your questions the way you want your brain to answer them. Because if you ask yourself a question of, why am I fat? Your brain is going to answer that in all kind of negative ways you don't want to hear, so it'll just depress you more. What you want to ask yourself instead, ask yourself, what can I do to lose weight? And your brain will constantly push out those answers. You need to work out more. You need to do this. You need to eat the right food. You need to cook the right food. You need to stop eating here. Your brain will start answering those questions. It's all about the way you word your questions. You don't want to say, why am I an idiot? And because then your brain's going to constantly think of, oh, okay, remember that time in elementary school when you did this? You know, you don't want to push out questions like that. You want to say, why am I great? Why am I the best? What can I do to do this? What do I have to do to do this? You know, when you constantly ask yourself questions like that, your brain will answer those questions the way you want them to be answered, in a positive way, because you don't want negative questions being answered by yourself, because it's just going to make you more depressed. Okay, I tend to ask myself questions all the time. If I'm gonna watch a documentary or anything about it, whatever it may be, I'll write down questions, because writing them down is actually really powerful. But if you don't have time to write them down, just ask them in your head. Just ask them in your head. But I tend to ask questions all the time, and when I do, I'll get that answer. Like I said, even if I'm not paying attention to anything else they say, I'll get that answer. It's all about asking the right questions when it comes to like anything, like the seminar, like I said, I went to, documentaries, stuff like that. When you ask those questions properly, you will get the answers you want, you're looking for. So you could just write out a list of questions or something like that. Let's say, for example, today you're at work right now, or let's say you have work tomorrow, whatever it may be, you just got home. Go ahead and write down some questions that you will want the answer to, as in like New Year's resolutions are coming up. So a lot of them are going to be, how can I lose weight? Another one, how can I stop smoking? Any resolutions like that, write them down. How can I do this? How can I do this? And your brain will answer those questions for you. If you say, why do I still smoke? Or why am I still fat? Your brain is going to answer questions like, oh, it's because you like smoking, or you're stressed out right now and that's why you do it, and you eat so much because of this and stuff like that. So it's going to program your brain to be like, oh yeah, I eat because of that, so I'm still thinking about that, so every time I think about it, I need to eat. So you don't want to program yourself like that. You don't want to program your brain to think of answering those kind of questions like that. Basically, just word your questions properly. You'll be set. Just especially for this New Year's resolutions, when you write down your New Year's resolutions, or whether you think of them in your head, write down the questions you want to solve those New Year's resolutions. But anyway, just want to do this quick vid. This is Daniel Jackson from DanielJJackson.com. Like the video, subscribe there, and check out my website. It's down below in the description. Check out my friend and business partner, Louis Angel at AE Mine, down there too. But